Soul Garden.
Hey there, have you seen my latest video, Jupiter Gets Emotional? Come check it out at soulmart.me. Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your karmic story together. And please forgive my absence the last 4 weeks. I have been facing my own karmic story, which has been repeating and repeating for the last year. So thank you to all those who sent good support, love, and your prayers. I really appreciate it. I got all the notes, everything. Thank you very much. So let's talk about what's going on. Have you had ascension sickness? That's what we call it when you have to grow super fast. When the spirit grows faster than the body, we get sick. Let's look at Mr. Orbits Man. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the planets all align with the chakras. And this map here shows you how each planet aligns with each chakra. Well, the chakra that's been giving us a sick stomach literally has been the third chakra, which is our yellow chakra. That's because thoughts and feelings come together there. Now, for the last year, Jupiter was in Gemini, expanding thoughts and throwing off the two in their balance. Now, Jupiter's in Cancer, having emotions expand and perhaps throwing them away from thoughts. So, put simply, if you're having ascension sickness, having problems eating, which may lead to problems sleeping, really what you need to do is align your thoughts with your feelings, get those two on the same side. Now, the sun is moving into Leo, which means we're working on the heart chakra, that beautiful green one there, and that means we'll be working on it for the next 2 months. You may not know this, but Chiron also rules the heart chakra along with the sun. So, healing, loving, being in the moment, that's what it's about. But let's look at the planets and what caused all this shift, shall we? Here's a sneak peek. Womp womp! That's right. That's Monday, if you don't know. And there's so much going on, I have to layer it piece by piece. It really begins with a soul pyramid. We got a soul pyramid in Earth starting off the week. That's going to allow us to change reality, rapid fire, and fast. On top of that, a soul pyramid in water, a grand trine aligning our emotions so we get used to the way it feels right away as well. A yod pointing to the sun pulls in our intuition and our ability to kill things into love. That's basically a creation yod right there. You can't put it any simpler than that. Then we've got an opposition, a little tug-of-war between Saturn and the Moon, 2 more oppositions, and a square. That's the one between Uranus and Pluto. We've been feeling that one for a long time. Another square between Uranus and Black Lilith. Oh, that's fun. One more square between the Sun and the Moon, so feelings and our love isn't talking to each other. And one more squares. I love is not talking to boundaries. So all these parts of us are talking to us with the trines. All these parts of us are in fights with each other or ourselves. And that's what I'm going to talk about. When we get up in the ascension elevator and get up to the clouds, I'm going to talk about what this means for each of the 12 zodiacs in your rising signs and how it turns into happiness or not happiness for you. Look at that spirograph. It's so pretty. All right, let's not wait any further. Let's take the ascension elevator and take a better look at you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, Your Royal Majesty and Leo Risings. Such a pleasure to be of soul service. Welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you. Forgive me for being off the air for so long. I myself was going through my own trauma, and you will hear why. I have a Leo rising, so you're about to hear what we were going through. A royal pain in the rump, that's what it was. When I last left the air, Jupiter was in Gemini, so Leos were basically expanding their I belong state of awareness, where they feel like they belong in the world. For me, that was the serious joy revelation, that I'm here to help bring serious joy to the planet. You might have had your revelation of where you belong on Earth, and then it went straight into karma. Jupiter went into Cancer with the Sun in Cancer, and that is the beginning of a year long of faith building. I know. That means you're going to face the weeds. So the universe is exposing you to the weeds in your soul garden. What are weeds? Well, if you're new to soul garden, these are the issues that start in childhood and wrap themselves around your flowers inside your heart and yank the life out of you. Yank the light out of you. These are fears, self-sabotaging behaviors, past life karma. Karma is basically a memory, by the way, but when you have a memory planted in your subconscious, it tends to come out when you're drinking or doing weird stuff, right? As soon as we go into the zone, past life Betty comes out, or past life Richard, the knight. who is not shining in armor. So whatever that is, welcome to the party. And that's pretty much what brought me down my own karma, because me and my body, we've been fighting for centuries now. But with the sun in Leo, it's time for your birthday, Your Majesty, and it's time to feel better, love yourself, lick your paws, and move on. And that brings us to where we are here with the sun in Leo. You're working on the I am state of awareness. That is your inner identity. This starts with ego. Now, ego is just the dumbass that works for us. This is basically the guard or the knight or the caretaker of the drawbridge who raises the drawbridge for you. So ego is just really the dumbest part of us, and it's time to upgrade that ego every time we build a new inner soul. So this is an ego that reflects the new spiritual inner faith. So if you in the past did not have inner faith, you might have had a Napoleon complex where you were always, being an angry lion to the world or acting out, or perhaps in certain parts of lack of faith you would, go too far. So that sort of thing is going to be what blows up in your face, Your Majesty, in this first part of the transit. Let's look at the planets. Well, the sun in Leo goes from step 5 to step 11. That means you're going to disarm where your mind triggers you and get all the way up to healing your image and healing your ego. That will be on Sunday. You'll feel that healing. But look at this. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Black Lilith, that biatch, is still in the subconscious. And that means a lot of you is still withdrawn. Mars is making you cranky, and you are quick to self-sabotage while Mars is up there in Cancer. So Sunday is a self-sabotage day. For those watched over in GA, I'll be texting you reminders to be careful. Now, Saturn in Scorpio is now direct. This is the part that means you have to draw boundaries with yourself. You have to be a good mommy to you, whether you're a man or a woman. And right now, in your thoughts, step 5 means you must have nice thoughts. Be nice to your emotions. Make the smart ass, that's your mind. Be nice to your inner infant. Those are your emotions. We're all a baby on the inside, so talk nicely to you. That's basically it. You're going to be growing with home, family, and foundation issues in Saturn until March 3rd, 2014. That's before it retrogrades. You do have a break on health issues, thank God. Pluto is retrograde at 9 degrees. This means that I have just until September 21st to make sure that I learn when it comes to my health and taking care of ourselves. And you are no exception, Your Majesty, or Leo risings. You must reconsider your daily lifestyle. How much stress is in there? How much are you happy? How much are you living in your heart? These are all very important questions for Leos to ask themselves in their daily lifestyle. But you have until September to figure it out. Not very long, really. I don't even know why I'm cheering. It's not that worth it. Now, looking at last week to kind of catch up, the biggest moment really was that full moon at 0 degrees in Leo. After a full month of sun in Cancer, really just the whole inner tides of emotion and inner faith and spirituality and yada yada. Then we get to this full moon and it's in Aquarius. So that full moon was a stretch between mirage issues and ego issues, where your ego is mean to yourself. All right, that's what I call the mirage. And then you might have had that blow up over this last weekend. So there was breakdown, ego breakdown. That means your ego is throwing tantrums the 26th to 27th. That probably means you're angry about stuff. That was this last weekend. And it all has to do really with your ego and to some degree how well you treat yourself. How well does that ego treat the queen or the king? That's a good question. So this week, we jump into it. On Sunday, it's a Mercury rule day, so it's kind of a cloudy Sunday. On Monday, Venus rules, so we're restoring balance. Your ego will restore balance. Now, this whole week, Jupiter is at 7 degrees, so this will be one of the most psychic 10-day periods you have ever had if you cleared out the weeds in your soul garden. If you have not cleared out the weeds, you can clear them out with Jupiter at 7 degrees. This is a time where you definitely want to log into your higher self and listen to what the little birdie tells you, particularly on Tuesday the 30th and Wednesday the 31st. Those are Neptune ruled days, which means the whole planet is super psychic. With Jupiter at 7 in your house of subconscious, you are super psychic during this time. You want to ask, and send messages up as far as what to do, where to go, and what to act on, especially with your birthday, right? Now, what you're asking really is about your ego. It's time to cut away old ego defenses. Your ego at the door is not guarding the new queen, the new king. Whoever this new king, queen is, it needs a new bodyguard, a royal knight to protect you, which means that you don't get triggered by the old fights, which means you don't start fighting with your family, Saturn in Scorpio, which means you don't beat yourself up with all that stuff you do in your thoughts. It means that your knight, the one that's there, is supposed to protect you and make you look good. End of story. So listen to your intuition about where you're really fooling yourself. Remember, the ego is designed to deny. That's its whole thing. It's supposed to deny burglars from walking in the door. But when you use it on yourself, it denies that you have a problem. It denies that you've gained 20 pounds. It denies that you're an empress with no clothes. That's the kind of denial ego does when it's not in getting checked by the heart. The king or queen must go, my heart doesn't like that. If your heart doesn't like something about your ego, just let it go. Show the ego who is king or queen. So on Thursday, making decisions to cut away from that old behavior pattern. Perhaps they are ego-triggered issues that are tied to old weeds. So maybe you face some weeds and now you need a shiny ego. But Thursday is the day of death. You're going to decide what goes and what stays. Friday, you put that into action. So go ahead and call goodwill, give all the way that old wardrobe. And on Saturday, you're in the beauty parlor, changing into a new butterfly, loving and trusting that the new Royal Majesty will look just good. Phenomenal. Now, taking a sneak peek at next week, Sunday is a great groovy day. It's a synergy energy of healing, so your ego will feel very healed. Good beauty parlor day there as well. That includes Leo risings. I think I'm going to have my hair cut soon. I'm letting the mane grow out if you haven't noticed. But Tuesday is light cast day, and this is really where a spiritual miracle could happen. That Neptune retrograde at 4 is pretty cosmic. Jupiter will decide and act is what happens next week. So light cast day, put it on your calendar on Tuesday the 6th. We'll be here for you, of course. I intend to be. Now let's come back down to earth. I've got a few things to show you. One is, if you want to get on top of these weeds and ending the self-sabotage, check out the Jupiter Gets Emotional videos. These are available right now at soulmart.me. For those of you who are uncomfortable with internet video, I made MP3s. You can listen to it while you're in the salon and just play me over and over. Let me haunt in your head. But check them out. They will get you through the next 6 months, from July till December when it comes to interfaith issues. I map out when all the storms are, when all the challenges are, and I made it easy to follow. So please check that out. If you haven't got an Act 2 video while you're down there, they're on sale now for just $3.99, and the last chapter of them is Leo and what's going to happen in Leo. So you might want to check those out. And you have till the end of this month to get a reading with me for just $99.99. I call it a Serious Joy Reading, where I map out how to step in your joy. Act now while supplies of Witecki last. These are all available, of course, at soulmart.me. Then lastly, I do want to cordially invite you to my guided hangouts. It's called Practical Wizardry, and I'm focusing it all around Leos and love this month. I'm teaching people how to step into their magic, and I'm showing you how magic is practical and all around us. Check it out. I am live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific at soulgarden.tv. All right, my Royal Majesty and Royal Majesty Rising, that's all I have for this week, but I do promise to be back next. Until then, live, love, be.